Bienvenidos to another episode of Mano Merezco, another solo episode, and I am super excited about today because one, we're actually doing this outside where there's a bit more movement in terms of like people are actually like running, and I'm in the park, so I right now have an amazing view of the sea slash ocean. I'm not really sure what it is, and it's just really exciting and also really scary because I don't know how loud am I supposed to be speaking, and I'm not doing it in the car because I was gonna do it in the car, but because it's so hot in there and there's a table right here, might as well just use it, and then also get out of my comfort zone. And it doesn't matter if there's like literally people in front of me and then cars passing by where they could see me that I'm recording. But with that being said, I am really excited about today's episode because I don't know what I'm going to be talking about. I don't. I have a few themes that I do want to talk about, but I think one that's been resonating recently, it's just again time. How time goes so quick, and it's so crazy to just think like, and specifically, there's there's different reasons why I've been thinking about, and I think this is like a huge theme in my life, but like I worked at the festival last weekend, and then today marks almost a week. So it's like, man, I was so tired, and I didn't even want to do the festival, but I was like, okay, you know we need some money, so we got this. And then it's like, man, like time already flew. Like, yeah, I was tired and I was sore the next 2 days, but it's over. Like the pain is gone, the actual working is gone, and I should be getting my paycheck soon. So it's like time just like complaining or dwelling about that fact is like, it doesn't matter because time already went on. And then we could even think about further terms, like, damn, I'm 23 turning 24 in 3 months, 2 months and a half. And and then you look back, like, damn, high school happened, and it's gonna be almost 6 years since I've graduated, 3 years since I've graduated from college, and like all those stuff really get into my mind because then you go into things things are changing, but also we feel like they're not changing, and especially with like people like us, where we're trying to improve, we're trying to be better people, but then we're not, at least speaking in my experience, like we're not congruent in what we're doing and then in what we're learning. And even though we're putting some stuff into action, the real action of changing your behavior, like whether it be with others, with your expectations, stuff like that, they still contribute to your daily life. And it's like, man, I need to change those things in order to be more congruent with what I'm learning and starting to believe. So all of that has been really in my head, and even and if you watched the previous episode, I've talked about the show The Chosen, and he was that made me think also as well, like Jesus was born like thousands of years ago, and it's fucking crazy. Not only that we're still hearing his story, but also that shit happened a long time ago, and it's fucking crazy that not a lot of changes have happened. Like, there has been changes, but not changes in like our own moral compass and our values, and the things that we still want. Like, we still desire a lot of earthly things, a lot of material stuff, and like the reason he came was to like remind us, like, no, you have everything. Like, just as long as you're like with God, with my Father, then but that's into like a religious, spiritual um realm. But like, even if you don't believe that, like, at the end of the day, it's we still, like, if you think about life, it's like you choose. We're here for a reason, whatever it is, and the reasons we choose tend to be like the wrong ones, where we work at a job that we hate, we're with people that we dislike and like who aren't bringing any value to us, and it's like we keep living this life, and time keeps going by, and we're not choosing differently in order to really live life how we're supposed to. And that gets me all the time, because I could feel myself waking up in the morning. I obviously like people like really conscious, like, damn, another day has passed, and then also at night, like, damn, another night has passed, and another full day has passed. And it's crazy to me because I want to do so many stuff that I don't even know what it is, but I know there's so much more to life than the life that I'm living right now, and that gets me all the time because sometimes I feel like I'm not doing enough. Sometimes I'm really not doing more than I should, and I'm doing like the bare minimum. And then I'm trying to understand why there's so much resistance. I'm trying to understand why am I not doing the work. And there's obviously so many factors. There's like healing the relationship with our parents, the relationship with ourselves, the relationship with the universe, where like, man, like, not all of us are lucky enough to like come to the beach and at a Friday afternoon because they got work. But there's a reason why I'm living this life, and I feel like it's like to remind myself, like, life is not just about working. Like, I see my dad, and it's like, man, this dude has worked more than 40 hours plus and more per week, and has done that for like the past 20 years. Like, I don't want to live a life like that where there's so much regret, where there's so much sacrifice, where there's so much distant relationships because he had to provide for us, and he had to sacrifice those moments with us because of work, because of how society is because of how society is structured. So all of these things that come into my head, and I understand all of these things, but there's still a lot of resistance in actually doing the thing. And it gets me all the time when I see the days passing by. It's like, man, a month has passed. Like, I took therapy I took therapy a month ago, and it's like, what have I done? Like, where are the changes? And and when was it? I don't remember when. Oh, that's a nice car. But like, I did a palm reading 2 months ago, and it's like 3 months ago, and it's like, man, that's fucking crazy, because we think there's these external things that are going to change, like this guidance, this perspectives are going to change us. And don't get me wrong, they did help a lot, but it's up to us to make those changes. And that at the end of the day, whatever we want, like right now I want a road trip to in during winter, so I could travel in the south towards the west and interview amazing people who are doing amazing things, because we don't get to, at least in my experience, I don't get to see those things. I don't get to see people who enjoy and are passionate about the things that they're doing. So I want to do that road trip, but then there's so much resistance in doing it because money, because is it even possible? Are people going to want to meet? What am I going to do, like, financially? But at the end of the day, if I do that, at some point it's going to come to an end. And that's the crazy part, because we're here, like, I don't know if you guys have heard that I don't know if, like, I don't know what it will be, like, English term, but it's this story where, or this thing where we think fear is like 10 feet, has a 10 feet depth, but in reality it's like a 1-inch, 6-inch thingy. So instead of it, so let me illustrate it for you guys. So instead of fear being this, it's literally just like this. So we make it seem as it's such a big thing, but in reality it's like such a small thing. And then once we do that thing, we realize, like, damn, it wasn't that bad. Like, it wasn't that bad. And two, like, it's also over. Like, it's fucking crazy. Like, when I did my trip to Texas, which was a whole week, I wasn't like overthinking it, but it was also like, what am I gonna do? Specifically in that day, I wasn't overthinking it like months or before. Like, I barely planned it, but the day of that week, like, I would be like, oh my god, like, what am I doing? Where am I gonna sleep? But then at the end of the day, that trip passed by, and now it's been May, June, July, August, September. It's been 6 months since I've done that trip, and I thought that trip was gonna be like life changing. Like, this is it. This is my breakthrough moment, and like, it was the complete opposite, bro. It was the complete opposite, and that's why I think about time so much, because we think that these external things are gonna make us happy, like they're gonna change our lives, like we're gonna be a better person after we do these certain things, but in reality it's not gonna. And that's the thing, I also understand that. So I want to be more intentional with the things that I do, but then there's also realistic things that we got to do, like pay bills. Like I can't come every Friday, or maybe I can, but I have to figure out a way to make money in order to make it happen. Because if I make money through the podcast, if I make money through my Etsy shop, then my job is to come here to the park and make these videos. And how fucking cool would that be, you know? But in our minds, or at least in my mind, is like it doesn't feel possible. And it's not even like I've gotten to a point where I'm now understanding more of like my awesomeness and the merecimiento, like me lo merezco type of feeling. So I think I'm getting there, but there's still that resistance of like the possibilities. And even though I've seen it, like that Texas trip was not supposed to happen, like, but it happened, and a lot of amazing things happened throughout that week, which I still can't believe. But then 6 months have passed, and it's like, what have I done to keep that momentum going? And it's like the answer is like not much, because there's so much resistance, there's so much self-sabotage. And thankfully, because of the therapy session that I took, I'm now understanding like why that's the reason. And now there's more actionable steps that if you guys want me to share, like please comment down below and I'll make another video to save you those $150. But honestly, I'm just gonna share. But at the end of the day, having a person who is an expert on these stuff, I think it's so worth the pay, like paying them. But si no quieres and you just want me to make a video, I'll be more than glad to make that video for you guys. But yeah, so I think in order like to close this episode, because I feel like we all understand, and maybe a lot of us are feeling like we don't belong here. And not even like we don't belong here because we're the black sheep, but like you see, like you become present in the moment, and it's like, damn, it doesn't feel real, if that means like you just don't feel like, I don't know, it just starts questioning like what is the meaning of life. Like you start going into those philosophical area, and start thinking about like, damn, what is like, why, like, am I actually meant to work 40 hours plus every single day on a job that I dislike? Like, for me, the answer is no. Like, no, I do not want to work those 40 hours. Like, life is not about that. Life, like, there's so many, and I think that's like the main goal about this podcast, is to show the individuals who have chosen have chosen their path of what they're passionate about and what they like, and not just make an income out of it, but and actually enjoy their lives. I feel we're so, like, we barely see that in our day to day, where if people can see how others are actually doing it, and maybe they're not like millionaires, but they're definitely they're living the lifestyle that they want to live. And if they wanted to, they probably could increase their income, but even that, there's them just being clear on what they want to do, and like the possibilities that they've gained. Like, and don't get me wrong, they probably still go through challenges, they still have their ups and downs, maybe they probably still want to give up, but they're doing the thing. And they prefer that life than living a 9 to 5 job with 40 plus hours, living in an office in a cubicle where there's barely any sunlight, compared to me being here in this beautiful park with the sun hitting my face, a beautiful tree in front of my face, a beach, which is like, I don't know if it's the ocean or the sea, because it's called Seaside, but I don't know if it's the sea or if it's the ocean, but just feeling the fresh air in my face. And it's like, this is what I want, this is what I want to live, this I want this to be my job. I don't want a fucking cubicle with no sunlight, with no windows, and if there is windows, there's like fucking buildings everywhere. And don't get me wrong, maybe that's an amazing view sometimes, but sometimes we need that fresh air, sometimes we need the ocean, we need to hear the waves, we need to hear the wind, we need to hear the leaves. And it's like, we don't get that enough. And sometimes we think that those jobs are are it. Like that's what we're meant to do. But in reality, like that's not it. That's not it. I don't want to believe that that's life. I don't want to believe that that's life. And I'm trusting the universe. I'm trusting God. I'm trusting Jesus. I'm trusting my angels, my guidance, whoever it is. They're gonna guide me to the lifestyle that I want to live. And I understand it's work. I understand it's gonna take commitment. But I'm down for that. I'm down for that because I know. I also understand that there's seasons. Sorry, I don't know why my pitch went up. There's seasons in like having to work, and there's seasons to like be with family, and there's seasons to be with friends, well, family and friends. I understand that. I know I could do those ways, but I can't do working a whole year, working 40 hours at a job that I don't like. I can't. I don't want to believe that that's gonna be my life for the rest of my life. So I want to be part of projects. I want to be part of a community or a part of projects where like they're doing amazing things and they're changing people's lives. They're changing their own lives by being part of this. And yeah, I'm excited. I feel like I'm getting excited about that.